morning, everyone, and welcome to the European crossover webinar. And we've gone and seen the indices going in pair back a bit, more so in the NASDAQ from where we were yesterday, and still the NASDAQ still holding up very well. If you think about it, take a look here. This is still doing exceptionally well, but we have gone and paired back, and also in the indices. Taking a look at where we stand here with the euro, we do have ECB day today. Still relatively quiet. We had that little gravestone doji that we posted yesterday, but as I mentioned, a bit quiet here. Quick look here at the cable. A little bit further dip here. We do have CPI today, which is going to be, I believe, a big mover. The Aussie, dollar yen. And taking a look at where we stand today as far as data, not data, but economic data, that is. So, of course, we have jobless claims, CPI, and that is going to be it. Of course, as I mentioned, we do have ECB today, and that is it here. So, with that being said, let's go on and get started with the analysis. So the euro posted a gravestone doji ahead of the ECB. Support on Thursday will be 2060 with resistance at 22.27. Now I have gone and spread this out, obviously, to factor in what potentially we could see the dollar really start to kick into gear. And if we do with CPI, could see this thing really swing lower. So we're really pushing in for potentially what could be just that, much further dip. And initially I had it here 29, and that's what I'm coming up here, right there, 2060. A bit of it on the stretch side, but I'm looking at more of the extremes here. And resistance is going to stay the same at 22.27. And as I mentioned, right here, you can look for support right there coming in. Right here, 21.25. But my thoughts are is if we break much lower, we're going to get a much bigger move beyond that. Beyond that area, and eventually we could end up going to what I believe would be 26. I guess I can go, but that's going to be a bit of the extreme right here. I guess right here, I didn't want to go that far. It's going to be, there's 2062, 26, well, let's go 2062. But before we get there, I guess we ought to still go and mark or something. Hang on. But to me, if we do break, I think it's more of a pit stop before we get there. Let's go 2104. Let's go and take a look here at the cable. Now, the cable closed at lows of the week on Wednesday ahead of the key CPI data. Support on Thursday will be 40.45 with resistance at 41.89. And on to the Aussie dollar. So the Aussie closed at the lows of the day on Wednesday ahead of U.S. inflation data. Support on Thursday will be 76.60. Once again, going for the more extreme moves here. This one isn't too big of an extreme move, but once again, we do go in and break them here. 76.60 with resistance at 77.89. Onto the dollar yen. So the dollar yen posted a positive day on Wednesday, closing just above 957. Resistance on Thursday will be 996 with support at 919. And on to the cash dollar index. The dollar index posted a small hammer on Wednesday. You can see that right here, ahead of CPI data. Resistance on Thursday will be 90.78 with support at 89.69. So support's going to stay the same, but once again, we're looking at 90.78. Thought I said 68. Okay. And really, if CPI takes off, we could easily go past this. But I thought that would be within reason. Let's go and move into Bitcoin. Bitcoin posted a surprising rally on Wednesday, closing above 36,500. Resistance on Thursday will be 37,738 with support at 35,624. I did not expect this to see that solid rebound like it did. Boy, rebound we did get. And on to the S&Ps. So the S&P faded into the close just below 4220 ahead of the CPI data today. Support on Thursday will be 4202 followed by 4192. Resistance will be 4238 followed by 4250. And the reason is because I think the CPI data could see a big effect, obviously, on the indices. So the If we're looking at the S&Ps, let's take a look at something real quick here. So taking a look at the S&Ps, you can see the key weekly volume level for the week. Now, if you see right here, this is the week's area. Okay, this is we're looking at a 30-minute bar. This is the last 30-minute bars for today. You can see that the key volume level is going to be right here at 42.23 essentially. But for the week, and this is the week's range, if you look all the way up here, it's about 36.75, all the way as low as 42.05 3/4. So here's the range for the entire week. The key volume level here is going to be right there, 42.28 3/4. Essentially, really 40, yeah, I call 42.27 3/4, 42.28. But as I mentioned, if we do go on to get that rally, then we'll probably quickly see it move up to 38, and we could eventually kick all the way up to 42.50. We think we can quickly move up there if for some reason they don't see the CPI data as threatening. Okay, so let's go on and move back into what. Let's go and move into the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ posted a gravestone doji on the daily chart ahead of the CPI data. Support on Thursday will be 13,756. You can see we're already into 13.7s now. So 13,756 with resistance at 13,930. Obviously, I think we can break even lower because this is going to be huge down here, 13,715. So, and this is that area that they finally broke out of. So let's go with 13,75. So that's 56. This is key right here. Certainly had a hard time, and when I was doing this analysis in Asia, it certainly looked like it didn't even. We're still trading. This sucker was still hanging on at the 13,830s. We finally started to break a little bit lower, but it'd be 13,715.56. And if we do get the upside, and this thing has really hung on really well up in here, we quickly go on and move into 13,930. And let's go and move into the gold market. So gold closed slightly lower on Wednesday, but remains close to the 1900 area. Resistance for Thursday. And my thoughts, in case we do get a good blowout number, I can see this thing move up into the 1942. We're finally dipping back here. Actually, I think in Asia we were trading like at 1889, so we're actually might be in the 90s. Yeah, I guess it was around 90. Around 1890. We've actually dipped down here towards this 83 area, and actually been as low as into the 80s or high 70s. Support will be 1868. Not seeing that much of a dip, although we've already made a dip in here. But if we were to take off, we could blow some stops, and it seems a bit of a stretch, but let's go with 1919 and then that 1940. I think if we were to take off, we could see this thing really, and I'm talking about taking off the CPI data, this thing could really jet. And let's go to crude. Now, Crude posted a gravestone doji, although the wick was slight. You can see there's not really much of a gravestone doji because you need a much taller wick. Resistance on Thursday is going to be 70.23 with support at 68.25. This thing is still doing exceptionally well. Still showing this 10-year note under a lot of pressure. You would thought it would be moving much higher. One of the reasons which also helped the NASDAQ yesterday hold up really well and push much higher. But we are expecting that big CPI report. We'll see how everything gets affected. Be wary. And the dollar, like I said, and I'm no fan of the dollar, as you know, but I think that with the scare in the CPI, not to expect it to go gangbusters, but we could see a few days of some short covering. If, like I said, we do get, I think we're going to get a bang up CPI number, which is going to probably spook some people, but we'll see where we go from there. And with that, we'll go on and call it a session as we get ready for ECB day as well as CPI. And we have a 30-year bond auction, so it really should be some pretty volatile areas where we see these for the dollar as well as primarily the indices. We'll go and get this posted. Thanks for joining us here in the European Crossover webinar.